There we are. Hi, guys. It's Kathy. I hope you're doing well. So, good news. Good news. We have, I don't know, 10 minutes left in this video. And this is the first part of April 18th. And then 2 hours. Yep, 2 hours. So, it's Sunday, right? It is Sunday, right? We're just going to finish both of these. We're not going to stop until we get to April 20th and Fung is off the stand. We're going to, even if Fung gets off the stand halfway through this next video, we're still going to go to the end of it. Playback speed is still at 1.25, so we should be fine.
Your memory in this morning when it came to you was jogged by your viewing of the videotape.
Overruled. Well, I started thinking about it more and more, and things started coming back.
Well, on redirect examination, did you not testify that you still have no independent recollection of placing the blood sample envelope in a trash bag?
That's correct, and I still don't.
Right. And you testified on redirect examination yesterday that it's possible other things that you collected that afternoon could have accounted for the heft inside that plastic bag.
Overruled. I don't know if I stated that or not.
Right. I'm at page 22971 to 22972.
Yep, I'll check it out.
I'd ask you to read all the way from page 22971.
I'm going to read to line 4 of 22972.
No, I asked you to read all the way down to line 4 on page 22972.
Just
With the court reporter.
Now, he can't tell the defense what evidence to produce. He can't. He can produce his own evidence when it's his turn, but he can't tell the defense what evidence that the defense has to put on. Oh, what if this whole video is a... Nope.
Thank you, counsel. Proceed.
question, Mr. Fung, do you have an independent recollection as you sit here today of placing the item that you received from Detective Van Adder, the envelope, into a plastic bag? Answer, not an independent recollection, no. Question, okay. And when you looked at the scene of Andrea Mazzola taking the plastic bag out of the location, was there anything that you collected between 5 o'clock and when you left with Andrea Mazzola that could have accounted for the heft in that bag other than the envelope? Answer, possibly. But it is most likely that the envelope was in that bag.
Yes.
Okay. Now,
guess what I'm wearing? Guess what I'm wearing, John? Guess what I'm wearing, guys? This shirt right here. You can't see it because it's this. It's this exact image. I love this shirt. I do. It's Bill. He didn't come to my stream, but that's okay. Oh no, I gotta take it down. There we go. But back to OJ.
Mr. Goldberg.
you have two photographs that I've shown the prosecution that I'd like to mark defendants next in order. We have them
1110 and 1111.
in barcode so that I can show them the picture and then Mr. Harris can swipe the barcode and put it up on the screen.
All right.
Now, Mr. Fung is to recognize that photo to be a shot of the valise, the kind of valise you use when you go to a crime scene.
1110.
That is one type that is used.
Is that the type that you carried on that then?
And I really don't recall.
Well, how many of these valises are there at SID? At 4, right?
There's this type, and then there's other types that don't have this specific configuration.
But in terms of putting aside the configuration, in terms of the types of things that are in it, do you recognize on the left-hand side those cards that you put down next to items for purposes of photographing?
There's several different makeups of crime scene kits. These, as long as all the items are, those types of items are in there, it's okay. But there's no one specific place for any one.
No.
thing.
Not talking about the place where everything is. I'm talking about the items within the kit.
This is typical of what would be included in a kit.
And so one of the things that you carry within the kit are these card markers.
That is an item, yes.
All right. And you, when you went back and used at the crime scene, of various envelopes, such as depicted in this photograph,
Yes.
of various sizes.
Yes.
And now, this depicts some of the water bottles and packages that you use to which contain swabs, correct?
This is typical of that
Right.
type of thing, yes.
Well, call your attention to those packages with the swabs. That's the kind you use at the lab.
Yes.
Now, when you went back into the house, do you recall if you put the cards in an envelope of some kind? When you went back in the second time and you were picking up the cards, do you recall if you put anything like that in an envelope?
I don't know what I did with those cards. I may have thrown them away.
Did you retrieve any packages of materials that you might have left from your work at the crime scene?
I don't recall if I did or not.
Well, you recall, you've testified that after you got the envelope from Detective Van Adder, you asked somebody to get you a trash bag.
I asked somebody to get me a bag so that I wouldn't have to carry the envelope out in plain view of the media.
Oh. And you were given a trash bag.
And I was given a trash bag, yes.
And the picture that we saw on the KABC tape shows you in the foyer with a trash bag in your hand and something that appears to be in the shape of an envelope.
Overall, yes.
Now, after you got the envelope containing Mr. Simpson's blood sample from Detective Van Adder, you said you opened up the envelope and looked at the inspected vial.
Yes.
I ask that this be marked defendants next in order.
I want to show that to Mr. Goldberg. All right, that'll be 1112. Mrs. Robertson, 1112. 1112. You may.
And Mr. Fung, Does this appear to be a test tube of the same size and configuration as the one you inspected on the afternoon of June 13th?
To the best of my recollection, yes.
And on the morning of June 14th, you also handled the blood vial.
I handled the envelope, but I don't know if I handled the blood vial itself.
This is testimony at the preliminary hearing at page 78.
Yeah, what line should I use?
Page 78 at line 26.
This is inconsistent.
Refreshing the witness's recollection.
It's not how to do it then.
Let me, may I approach?
You may.
Let me show you this document for a minute, Mr. Fung. Direct your attention. Starting here. Now, having read that, is your recollection refreshed that you handed the blood sample to Mr. Yamauchi on the morning of the 14th?
The vial and the envelope were given to Mr. Yamauchi.
And do you recall, and was the vial pretty much full?
It's beyond the scope of the direct, it's not a redirect, it's not a issue.
Sustained.
Well, Mr. Yamauchi, could you mark for us
Mr. Fung.
on, what number is this, Your Honor?
Mr. Fung.
My apologies. Mr. Fung, could you mark for us on this test tube, which is defendant's
1112.
1112, where the blood was up to in this test tube when you inspected it on June 13th?
I couldn't do that.
Well, Your Honor, I think motion to strike, this is beyond the scope.
Sustained.
Well, you examined the test tube that you got from Detective Van Adder
On the 13th.
on the 13th. Did it appear to you to be pretty much full?
Beyond the scope.
Sustained.
When you saw the blood vial on the morning of June 14th, was it pretty much full?
As soon as the fact not evidence. and-
Sustained. With court order.
So it's your testimony that you can't tell us, sir.
Your Honor, I objected to continuing.
Sustained.
I just want to ask this one question, Your Honor, about his
I
recollection.
sustain the scope objection, counsel.
Now, when you were in the foyer area during this period, you saw a number of detectives come in.
I saw detectives come in, yes.
Detective Furman,
I don't recall.
you saw Detective Furman coming in wearing a coat.
Rephrase the question.
When you were in the foyer area on your second trip, you saw Detective Furman walk into the,
Based on videotape?
yes.
Yes.
Well, I make motion to
Overruled.
Now, you testified under redirect examination on the 14th that, I'm at 22925, line 18. Just question and answer. Just the question and answer. No, I'm just calling his attention to his testimony.
Proceed.
Were you asked by Mr. Goldberg, recall being asked by Mr. Goldberg, question, did you ever say anything, make a point to say anything about the vial? This is to Andrea Mazzola. Answer, no. Question, did you have any reason to? Answer, no.
That's correct.
Now, you're saying that you had no reason to tell Andrea Mazzola anything about receiving the blood vial?
I'm not making specific mention of it. No.
She was keeping the notes on inventorying objects, items that you received.
Yes.
Did you regard the blood sample of the defendant as an important piece of evidence?
Overruled.
It was a piece of evidence.
You didn't regard it as a particularly important piece of evidence.
That's vague, particularly important.
Did you regard it as an important piece of evidence?
At that,
Counsel, it's not a necessary question at this
All right.
point.
Was there any other piece of evidence that you collected that you didn't mention to Andrea Mazzola on June 13th?
Overruled.
I don't recall any.
After you received the blood vial, were you concerned that it get back to the laboratory in good shape?
Yes.
Now, when you didn't have anything in your hands when you walked out the second time from Rockingham.
In the second videotape, no.
You could have carried it.
Yes.
And the vial is breakable, isn't it?
Yes.
If it broke, it could have spilled, blood could have spilled and been potentially dangerous to your health.
Potentially.
And you saw in the videotape where Ms. Mazzola is carrying that plastic bag and it's swinging and hitting shrubs and other things as she's walking to the truck.
Sustained.
Now, did you have a reason to keep this a secret from her?
Sustained.
Is there a reason that you did not tell her that you were putting a blood vial in a trash bag for her to carry out of the residence?
No.
Is it the custom and practice at LAPD to give important fragile items of evidence to criminalists in trash bags and not tell them what they're carrying?
Sustained.
Is it your custom and practice to give fragile items of evidence to criminalists in trash bags and not tell them what they are carrying?
Sustained. Sustained. No, sit down. Proceed.
Now, was there a reason that you did not? The envelope says refrigerate on it, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
But it's your testimony that you now have an independent recollection that you took the plastic bag containing the envelope and put it just left it on a table in the evidence processing room.
Sustained.
How many other times in your career, sir, have you collected items that are supposed to be refrigerated and just left them on tables overnight in plastic bags?
I don't have any specific recollection to that.
Now, you recall during cross-examination that you saw a videotape of your bare hand grasping a paper object.
Yes.
And it's still your position that that was not the envelope containing prescription glasses.
Yes, it is.
I'm sorry?
That's my position.
That's your position. And you did not notice that segment of the videotape before you testified at trial in the tapes that you were reviewing.
I didn't make any particular notice of it.
Mm-hmm. So when you were asked whether or not you had grasped the envelope in your bare hand on cross-examination, you said it didn't happen.
Sustained. Rephrase the question.
Is that are you saying that's a pad,
Hi, Eric.
not the envelope?
Sustained. Rephrase
Is
the
it your
question.
position now, sir, that what's depicted in that videotape is not the envelope but a pad?
Sustained.
What is it?
I don't know what it is, but it's not the envelope containing those glasses. It
And-
may be a bag, maybe another packaging material from the crime scene kit.
And after you saw that videotape of your hand on the item, you said, after examining it carefully, that you were even more sure in your mind that it is not the envelope because we did not start picking up evidence until well after the coroners were gone.
Sustained.
Your Honor, he has questions about the coroners on redirect
Sustained.
examination. Now, after you saw videotape showing the coroners present at the scene when Ms. Mazzola was picking up the hat and the glove, you realized that you could not claim you were that it wasn't the envelope based on the fact that the coroners weren't there.
Overruled on that basis.
Also beyond the scope of redirect.
Overruled. Argumentative it is. Sustained.
You were shown a segment of videotape which depicted the coroners being present when Ms. Mazzola was collecting the hat and the glove.
Same objections beyond the scope.
Your Honor, he asked several questions about this.
Overruled. Quickly.
Trying.
Yes, I did see videotape of that.
And when you saw that videotape, withdrawn. Now, on redirect examination, I'm at page 2304.
I have never, ever, ever seen a man try less hard than you, sir, at going quickly in the history of the entire world.
45. Did you,
Yes.
23045, Counsel.
now on redirect examination, we asked these questions and did you give these answers? Question, calling his attention to his testimony. Question, when you were involved in the collection process, were you trying to keep track of where the coroner's representatives were or if they were even there? Answer, no. Question, to this day, do you have an independent recollection of them being there? Answer, no independent recollection, no. Question, do you have any reason to believe that they were there other than the one clip of videotape that you saw with what appears to be the pants leg of one of the coroner's representatives in it? Answer, no. Only the videotape shows that they're there. Court giving that answer?
Yes.
So you're now saying, sir, that you're sure that that isn't the envelope.
Yes.
And you're sure because it is not your practice to touch objects with your bare hand.
Overruled.
We are all
Not
sure
my practice to touch bloody items.
that is not the envelope. We are all sure of it. We all saw it.
That could be for prints.
So your certainty with respect to the envelope comes from assuming that you always follow the rules.
Well, it's overbroad.
Sustained.
Is it your habit when testifying, sir, to say that you use correct procedures, even if you do not have an independent recollection of what you did?
I testify to what I can remember, and if I don't
Good
have a
answer.
specific memory, I will state that I don't and testify to what I generally do.
And sometimes you testify to what you generally do without saying, this is what I generally do. You just state it as a fact that you did it.
Sustained.
Sanctions. Sanctions for that question.
I have the envelope that is item number 10.
Bobby, he's been trying to impeach him for 3 weeks now. I'm waiting for the jury to say, "Oh, come on, move
On
on."
direct examination, a videotape of you stuffing the blue gauze pad back in the envelope.
Redirect.
Redirect, I'm sorry.
Yes.
All right. Your Honor, could we have a?
And just so we all remember,
Knife.
this is about the size of the envelope that he was handing to her. And it was folded down and bent with its hands right about here. So unless the glasses were folded in half, it could not have possibly have been the envelope that held the glasses. It just couldn't have been.
Pen knife, scissors. Anyway.
Not-
Oh, things are getting more ominous as. Could you please cut the top of the envelope, the same fashion that we did before?
Along the bottom again?
Just on that.
Well, I'll object because it's the same fashion. I think he was wearing gloves in the case.
Yes, that's true.
Mrs. Robertson,
Oh, come on.
gloves.
Let's go. You didn't care about gloves for any other piece of evidence at all. Who keeps gloves in a manila envelope? You know, I didn't know you were like that.
Please unseal the top and drop the item on the stand. Counter. The witness stand.
How did we know those gloves that he just yanked out of some random manila envelope or clean gloves? Medic.
But just put it as you got it. Now, when you first took it out, it was wrinkled, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
All right. And it was wrinkled because when you stuffed it into the coin envelope using the scoop method,
Pung is suddenly my hero. Pung is suddenly my best hero because look, see that right there? And Shek is right here. There's a knife right here. And Shek is right here. And look, he's so nice. He's so polite. He didn't stab him. He's so polite.
it became wrinkled in that fashion.
Yes.
Right? But when you first saw that item, when we pulled it out originally, it was just folded over.
It's irrelevant how it was when you first saw it.
Overruled.
It was just folded over, wasn't it?
That's because other people had analyzed it since.
I'm only asking you what you, when you first saw the item.
One person talks at a time here. If I have to instruct another person as to that rule, there'll be sanctions. Thank you. Proceed.
May I make an objection?
Yes, you may.
I object that he allowed the
Basis.
witness to answer, to finish his answer.
Proceed.
Finish with your answer?
Yes.
Taser.
When you first saw that blue item, it was folded.
Yes.
It wasn't wrinkled.
Do you mean, did it have any wrinkles in it or?
Yes, was it wrinkled in the same fashion as we saw it when you put it on the table just now?
Count, wait. Was this piece of evidence analyzed for anything?
Yes.
Your Honor.
Really, this is,
Your
the
Honor.
jury saw it when it came out, the jury saw it when it went back in. Proceed.
Next question, Your Honor. Would you agree that this item became wrinkled by the method you used to insert it into this coin envelope, the scoop method?
Overruled.
Yes. It was wrinkled by that method.
All right. But when you first took that item out, I showed it to you on cross-examination, it was not wrinkled in that fashion through the scoop method, was it?
Overruled.
It was folded.
It was folded. Your Honor, I'm finished with that.
All right. Fung, would you return that, please?
What do you mean you're finished with that? What
Place
the
it back
heck?
into the envelope.
Wrinkle it,
Proceed.
wrinkle it, wrinkle it. Sorry.
Now, when you, on redirect examination, tried scooping it into the envelope, you were trying to do something clever to avoid the inference that Detective Furman had collected that item with gloves on the morning of June 13th?
Sustain its argumentative.
Did you have any concern when you were testifying with respect to this item that the jury might believe that Detective Furman had gloves in his possession on the morning of June 13th when he collected that item?
Overruled.
No.
Let's turn to the Bronco, sir. Show you what's the People's 197B. Now, this is the photograph you were shown on redirect examination.
Yes, it was.
And this is a photograph taken on June 14th.
Yes, it is.
Are these 4 reddish stains a quarter of an inch long?
From the best of my recollection, no, they're not.
Are these reddish stains that look like brush marks?
They don't appear to be brush marks to me.
When you observed these items on the door sill of the Bronco on June 14th, were they red?
They were reddish.
Sure that.
Yes.
Do they appear to you to be reddish in this photograph?
When I look at the monitor, in this picture right now, I can't even see the stains.
All right, we've changed the contrast on.
Well, now they appear dark.
Not red. Oh,
Overruled.
have you examined the photograph?
Yes.
Does it look red in the photograph?
It looks brown or dark in the photograph.
Gray or black?
It's dark.
Specks of dirt?
Sustain.
Could it be specks of dirt?
Speculation.
It's vague as to what we're talking about.
Now, on July 6th, Ms. Clark told you to go out and look at the Bronco you're testifying to see if there were 4 red stains on the exterior of the door sill?
She told me to do that at some date prior to that. I don't know. I don't believe it was on the 6th, but I did go out there on the 6th to look for stains that were visible from the exterior,
Well,
specifically on the driver door.
didn't she tell you to go out and look at the exterior of the driver door the day before you testified at the preliminary hearing?
It was around that time, but I'm not absolutely sure that it was the day before. It may have been 2 or 3 days before.
Have you previously testified that you went out to inspect the Bronco the morning of your testimony of the preliminary hearing, which was July 6th,
Yes,
and that you had been told to go out the day before to do it? Try it this way. Were you informed by Ms. Clark that a detective had testified to seeing red stains on the door sill of the Bronco?
she had told me that a detective had told her that stains were visible from the outside of the Bronco.
4 red stains on the exterior of the door sill.
She didn't tell me how many.
Well, cross-examination, page 22410, line 22.
Segment.
Six next.
Sorry.
I'm sorry, and keep the book there, please, because we'll go to another page. Well, I'm starting at 22410, line 22. Ready? Question.
Your Honor, I'm going to approach that objection.
Is this foundational?
No, this is,
All right, let me see what the court is.
it's got two purposes.
All right, thank you, counsel. Proceed.
This could be the last moment of fun right here. Yep, it
In this
is.
photograph,
Right here. That's Fung's last moment. Bye.
197B,
We're not there yet.
you identified 4 items.
Yes.
Now, on cross-examination, on page 22406, line 1, he asked these questions. Did you give these answers?
Hold on. Proceed.
Question. My question, sir, is it your testimony that you saw 4 red stains on the exterior of the Bronco door on June 14th, but you thought they were not heavy enough, and therefore you did not direct the photographer to take a picture? Is that what happened? Answer, I can't. I don't know if there were 4 or not. The number 4 is the problem with the answer. Question, you saw 3 on the exterior of the Bronco on June? Answer, I don't recall the number.
This testimony was days ago. We've heard it. Why are we reading it back again?
Question, are you saying that you saw 3 red stains on the morning of June 14th? Stains. On the morning of June 14th? Answer, no, I'm not saying that. Are you saying you saw 2 red stains? Answer, I do remember that there was either a stain or 2 stains that were very light along the sill area that I did not collect. Ask those questions. Did you give those answers?
Yes.
Now, after the weekend and looking at the photographs, you're now prepared to say that 197B shows 4 red stains that you saw on the morning of June 14th.
Those are areas that were present that I don't specifically remember these stains, but I do remember stains present on the vehicle in those locations approximately, and these are consistent with those areas.
Well, you're telling us that you have an independent recollection of seeing 4 stains on June 14th?
No, it's not what I'm saying.
You're not saying that.
I'm not saying that.
So basically what you're telling us is that you looked at this photograph and you're now reconstructing the fact that those must be 4 red stains.
I knew that I remember seeing stains on this door sill that day, and looking at the photograph, I'm identifying these as possible red stains.
Now, 3 of the items that you've circled here can only be seen if the door is open.
The very top one and the one to the right, that's correct.
So to see these items, someone would have to open the door of the car.
To see those, yes.
Now, you gave us testimony that the fibers from a carpet can get into the crevices of shoes.
They have a more, yes,
And so if someone has stepped in blood and the shoes are no longer making impressions of bloody shoe prints on cement, when a person steps on fibers, the fibers will go into the crevices of the shoe.
it's possible.
And that would be true for the shoes of a police officer who had stepped in blood, as it would be for any other person wearing shoes.
Oh, well,
If that was, yeah, it is likely.
Now, the mat in the car, the Bronco, doesn't have fibers.
No.
And the brake pedal doesn't have fibers.
That's made out of rubber.
Now, you told us that you didn't swatch these items, these red stain, well, you didn't, which one? You did not swatch the items that you saw on the door sill
That's correct.
on June 14th,
Yes,
because you were only taking representative samples.
I was taking representative samples.
Where is it in the rules of your laboratory that there's a doctrine about taking only representative samples?
I don't know if it's written anywhere, but that's the way I was trained, and that's been the policy handed down and taught to every criminalist that's worked for the Los Angeles Police Department.
Is there any document that you know of in the crime lab that talks about taking only representative samples?
I'm not aware of one.
And in terms of swatching a stain so that you only get a representative sample, is that in any document in the crime lab?
I don't know of any document to that effect.
And we're clear on this. You recall testifying that when you swatch stains in the Bronco, you didn't swatch the whole stain, you only swatched a representative sample of the stain.
I believe that wasn't for every stain, but one stain in particular that you were talking about.
Stains on the console.
Yes.
But as far as you know, the only document in the crime lab that instructs you about swatching for purposes of DNA testing directs the criminalist to get as much of the stain as possible.
Oh. The collection for conventional serological or conventional serology and DNA collection are essentially the same.
Do you recall, withdrawn, haven't you seen a handout that gives directions on how criminalists should swatch blood evidence?
If you could show it to me, I may be fresh, but
Do you recall you and I went through a form that had about 13 different directions on them?
you've shown a lot of things to me over the last 8 days.
Okay. Now, on redirect examination, you indicated that you didn't think that you were necessarily covered by the rules in the Los Angeles Police Department manual.
I believe
Let's do it this way. Do you believe that you're covered by the rules in the Los Angeles Police Department manual?
certain aspects of the manual do pertain to the civilians, yes.
The manual, as it sets forth rules on the booking and handling of evidence, does that govern you?
Have we gone over this already?
Oh, he did it on redirect. I'm doing it fast.
17,000 times.
Well, I'll do it fast.
A million
Ask
times.
2 or 3 questions here.
A billion trillion times.
The guidelines and the general principles are applicable to us, yes.
Well, there are
I'll do it
guidelines and
really
general
fast.
principles, but you don't feel
I'll do it
that you
really
have
fast.
to follow those rules as written with respect to booking evidence?
As long as I'm following the intention of the policy, that's what the manual's for.
And the rules say that you should book biological evidence as soon as possible.
Yes,
And in this case, you did not book by putting the items into the evidence processing, the evidence control unit, the swatches from Bundy or Mr. Simpson's blood sample or the glove or the hat or any of these items until June 16th.
Young stuff was incorrect.
Overruled.
Booking those items of evidence by June 16th was very quick.
My question, sir, you did not take them to the ECU and have them stamped and booked until June 16th.
That is correct.
Now, you've told us on redirect examination that no rule or procedure would be violated if you had told Andrea Mazzola to throw out some original pages of the crime scene checklist and write a new form.
Well, it's overbroad. You specified certain pages.
Overruled.
I stated that they could be rewritten.
Well, weren't you asked that there was no rule or procedure that would be violated if you had told Mr. Zola to throw out the original page and write a new form?
Overruled.
I stated something to that effect about a portion of a form, yes.
Well, it was the page where Ms. Mazzola had written, in handwriting, right? 17 as the sneakers, 18 as the blood vial, and 19 as a hair from the Rockingham glove.
The one with no actual form writing on it or
Yes.
Xeroxing.
But it was on the back of a piece of paper that was an official form.
Yes,
Well, are you telling us that that form could have been, that original piece of paper could have been thrown out without violating any rule?
as long as the information was transposed to another form.
So you feel you have no obligation to save original documents?
It's also irrelevant. It is the document.
In your crime lab, are there any rules that require you to save original crime scene checklists? All right, he asked questions that you could just throw these out.
Answer the question.
Once there are rules, yes.
The rules are that the originals are supposed to be kept in one place in the laboratory.
The final version of the originals, yes.
Now, you were informed that there was a court order to produce original documents in this case.
Eventually, well, one was ordered, yes.
Well, do you recall, when did you first learn that there was a court order to have original documents examined?
It was somewhere around the preliminary hearing. That's what I recall.
Preliminary hearing, that was in July 1994.
That's what I recall. I don't recall when it was.
Somebody asked you in July of 1994 to produce your original documents of the crime scene checklist?
To the best of my recollection. I don't recall exactly when, but that's when I recall.
Who asked you to do that?
I don't know.
Someone in the lab?
I don't recall.
Well, did Michelle Kessler or Greg Matheson review your originals in July?
I don't recall when they reviewed my originals.
Your Honor, I have
Go ahead and finish.
15 minutes.
Go ahead and finish.
15 minutes?
Be my guest.
Thank you. Now,
Madam Reporter.
okay. Now,
Do you want to see what 15
do you
minutes
recall
looks like?
about,
I mean, I'm sure Goldberg is probably coming up. I don't know, but you want to see what 15 minutes looks like? It is an hour in. Fung is finally off the stand. In 40 minutes.
2 months ago, that you were informed that the defense had requested the originals of your crime scene checklists for purposes of having them examined by a document examiner?
Yes,
And were you involved in producing the originals for that purpose?
I was involved in some portion of it.
What portion?
There came a question as to, there were some items missing from my set of original notes, and I was asked to look for them, and I did find one page at that time.
This was a page that was undated that recounted what you had given to Mr. Yamauchi on June 15th.
Yes.
And what happened is that someone came to you from either the lab or the prosecutor's office and said, this page isn't an original. Can you find the original?
Mr. Matheson called me and asked me if I had that page.
And you went through the blue notebook in front of you
Yes.
and you found the original for that page.
Yes.
Did anyone ask you to go through the other pages that had been produced for the defense document examiner to be sure that you had in fact produced all the originals?
No.
No one made that suggestion to you?
No.
Now, before my cross-examination ended of you,
9 minutes, but we have it
you had a
sped up a little bit.
conversation with the prosecutors about page 4 of that checklist.
Before your
Page 4, before my
before it ended?
Yes, just at the time
Effing
it ended.
page 4 again.
Rephrase.
There came a point when I asked you some questions and documents were distributed to the jury.
Yes.
And there was a break and you spoke with prosecutors
Yes.
and you went through your book.
I'm not sure if I went through the book at that time or at a subsequent break.
Well, before Mr. Goldberg got up and started asking you questions on redirect examination, had you gone through your book and identified a page that you believed was the original page 4?
I do remember going through it prior to Mr. Goldberg's redirect.
All right. And was there a conversation with prosecutors about this item that you'd come up with, this page 4?
Yes.
And
Is he allowed to do this?
was a decision made in your presence by the prosecutors?
You're saying calls for legal consideration.
Yeah, he's not allowed to do this. What is he
Did you-
doing?
Once you identified this page that you realized was the original page 4, say to anyone, oh, there's a mistake. We should have given this document to the defense before.
Sustained.
Just a few questions about the blanket. Maybe one. In your judgment, sir, is the only way to have secondary transfer of hairs, fibers, and cellular material from the blanket that was brought to the Bundy crime scene to waive it?
Hairs, fibers, and cellular material.
Overruled.
Is that the only way?
Yeah.
For it to transfer?
Yeah.
The most likely way is for it to have transfer through direct contact.
Now, I'm now at 23-137, line 16.
Certainly.
Which page,
Line 16.
23, 127.
No, 23-137. I just have it here and I'll just start reading. You want? Ask this hypothetical question by Mr. Goldberg. Question. All right. Now, if hypothetically there were saliva from the defendant that had been dried on the white blanket, could that saliva somehow float down the entire crime scene and hit the rear gate and turn red? Answer, no. Question. All right. Would you expect that saliva or any biological material would contaminate the stains that you and Ms. Mazzola had collected along the trail? Answer, given your hypothetical, no. You were asked those questions, gave those answers.
Not impeachment, so it's irrelevant.
It's foundational.
Overruled.
Yes.
Now, you were shown a photograph of the rear gate at Bundy
Yes.
that was taken on June 13th. Do you have that here?
see if I can find the exhibit number.
Don't look for that for him.
While
No.
looking for it, let me just ask you some questions.
Well, we're looking for it.
Do you remember seeing that photograph?
Yes,
And there was a blood spot that you saw on July 3rd that was labeled 116.
yes,
And you did not see that on the photograph, the blown up photograph that was taken on June 13th.
Overruled.
I did not see it.
And you cannot tell us from your own personal knowledge how 116 got there on July 3rd.
Not from my personal knowledge, no.
But you're certain it was not planted there by anybody.
That calls for speculation. It's our method.
Sustained.
Are you aware, sir, that 1.9 milliliters, or 1/4 of the blood collected from Mr. Simpson's blood
Sustained.
stain,
Assumes
unaccounted
facts,
for?
assumes facts, not an evidence, counsel. Not an appropriate question. The jury is to disregard the implication of that question. Proceed.
Mr. Fung, you've been listening to the testimony at this trial.
Certain portions of it, yes.
You heard the opening statements.
We're not cross-examining on that, counsel.
Your Honor, this is the last line, and if you want, I'll approach on it.
It assumes facts that aren't in evidence, counsel.
I'm not talking about this. I'm asking about his awareness of defense positions.
Not as phrased.
Has it come to your attention that the defense alleges
Your Honor, can we approach on this?
Yes, with court order.
I know Goldberg's going to lose here. I know it. I already know. But I wish he would win. But he won't.
Proceed.
Hedwig.
Do you know a Michael Stevens from the District Attorney's Office?
You know, so-
Overruled.
I know someone named Mike, but I don't know if this is the person you're referring to.
Tall guy with silver hair.
Okay.
Do you
I think
know
I
a
who you're talking
Dana
about.
Thompson from the District Attorney's Office?
I've met Dana.
You know Mr. Thompson to be a senior investigator in the District Attorney's Office.
I only know he works for the DA's office.
Has either of these gentlemen ever asked you any questions with respect to the handling of Mr. Simpson's blood vial?
beyond the scope.
Overruled.
No.
Show you this photograph,
Mhm.
166A.
So excited for right here.
Mr. Fung,
This poor guy.
where's drop
Your Honor,
116 that you saw on July 3rd?
I will check. It's already on the list.
Overruled.
It does not appear in the picture. However, it may be on the curved area behind it. It just doesn't appear in the picture, though.
And it may be that it got there sometime between June 13th and July 3rd. You can't tell us from your own personal knowledge.
Sustained.
No.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take our recess for the morning session. Please remember all of my admonitions to you.
Yes.
Do not
He's
discuss
done,
the case
he's
amongst
done,
yourselves.
he's
Do not
done.
form any opinions about the case. Do not conduct any deliberations till the matter has been submitted to you.
I'm so
Do
happy.
not allow anybody to communicate with you with regard to the case. We'll stand in recess until 1:30. Mr. Fung, you're ordered to return 1:30. Thank you, Counsel.
It'll
Mr.
be
Dennis Fung is
easy
again
from
on the
here
witness
on out for
stand.
him.
The defense has concluded their recross examination. And Mr. Goldberg, you may.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We're gonna be on break till 1:30, he says. Look at that. It's 2:47. I mean, it's 1:47. They're late. Get down.
Redirect.
Good afternoon, Mr. Fung,
Good afternoon.
ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Fung, do you remember being asked some questions on recross about a videotape that was taken at the time of the search warrant?
Yes.
And did you in fact have a chance to view that videotape?
Yes.
And you said that that was when?
I viewed the videotape before I started my testimony here.
Okay, so that videotape couldn't possibly have affected your testimony here, could have it, since you'd already seen it?
Sustained.
Sir,
Rephrase the question.
okay, did you ever consider changing or altering your testimony in any way based upon seeing that videotape?
No.
All right. Now, as to stain number 12, the one that was downstairs in the foyer, do you recall, sir, whether you collected the downstairs items in the afternoon of the 13th prior to the upstairs items?
We began downstairs
Okay.
and worked our way upstairs.
So that in that case, 12 would have been collected before 13.
Yes.
And what time was 12 collected approximately, according to the crime scene identification checklist?
According to the checklist, it was collected at 4:30.
All right. And do you recall my asking you on recross whether you were sure about whether 13 was collected before 14?
Yes.
Are you 100% sure?
Not 100% sure, no.
Which one do you think was collected first,
I think the socks in item 13 were collected first.
before 14?
Yes.
But you can't be 100% sure.
I'm not 100% sure.
When was 14, the item in the bathroom, master bathroom, collected that stain?
That stain was collected around 4:40.
So you're saying, I believe that the socks were collected after 4:30, well, between 4:30 and 4:40 approximately.
In that general time frame, yes.
And as far as you are concerned, Mr. Fung, does it make the slightest bit of difference that you can figure out when they were collected within that general time frame?
No. Doesn't make any difference to me.
Would it make the slightest bit of difference that you've been able to figure out whether the socks have been collected at 4:38, 4:39, or slightly after 4:40?
No.
Now, when you viewed the videotape that we were discussing, was there in fact a shot that depicted a portion of the patterned, I guess you would call it a throw rug, in the defendant's master bedroom?
Yes.
And did you view that and compare it to still photography?
Yes.
Sir, was the area that the socks were collected from depicted in that scene?
The area where the socks were located was blocked by the bed in the video camera shot.
Was the throw rug a pattern type rug?
Yes, it was.
And did you look at the patterns on it when you did this comparison?
Yes.
Now, sir, you were asked some questions about whether you made any inquiries of people at the scene regarding any alterations of the scene. Is that correct?
Yes.
Are you supposed to make any inquiries of anyone in terms of alterations?
Yes.
Who's that?
The excuse me,
Photographer, maybe?
the detective at the scene
Oh.
is who I make inquiries of.
The investigating officer?
Yes.
Do you consider that to be a witness interview?
No.
Are you generally aware that police officers and detectives do witness interviews and sometimes fill out witness interview forms in LAPD?
Ground.
Beyond the scope.
Overruled.
Yes.
Oh, shut
And
up.
in your entire career as a criminalist, can you ever recall an occasion where you did that,
I've never done that.
where you conducted a what you would consider a witness interview?
That's correct.
But you have made inquiries of detectives.
Yes.
Sir, you were asked some questions regarding the scoop method that you demonstrated on item number 10. Why did you use the scoop method on the witness stand for the purposes of repackaging it?
The question came up whether it could be used or not, and I used it.
Now, sir, when you looked at the seals on that item on the witness stand when Mr. Scheck showed it to you this afternoon, or this morning rather, was there a red and yellow seal? Was there a yellow seal on it?
There were yellow seals on it.
And is there a significance in LAPD to a yellow seal as opposed to a red seal?
Yes.
What is that?
A red seal is used by the person booking the evidence, and the yellow seal is used by the analyst who performs some type of examination on the evidence.
So the yellow seal indicates that it was in fact examined.
Yes.
And did you notice anything on the envelope or on the item itself which indicated that?
Yes.
What?
There were several initials on different portions of the plastic bag.
Okay, now, sir, I want to ask you about the condition of that item when you first opened it up on the witness stand and saw it. And distinguishing between the word crumpled as in an item that's folded in on itself and kind of bunched together, and wrinkled meaning an item that may be folded but has creases that are apparent in it. Was this, I think,
Calls for speculation, maybe.
Well, this is not a big deal. I'll allow the question. The jurors have seen the item. They saw how it came out. They saw how it went back in. They saw how it came out. They saw how it went back in.
Okay.
And they've seen the photograph of it at the crime scene.
when you brought it out for the first time on the witness stand, was it crumpled?
No,
Was it wrinkled, as I've just used that term or defined it?
there were wrinkles in it.
Okay, but was it folded?
Yes.
Okay. Your Honor, I'd like to read a portion from the from the trial transcript at page 22,971. A
Right.
portion of which was just read in and recrossed.
All right, give Mr. Schick.
That's 22,971, starting at line 19, to 22,972, ending on line 25. Sir, at the trial, do you recall giving the following answers to the following questions? Question, Mr. Fung, do you have an independent recollection, as you sit here today, of placing the item that you received from Detective Van Adder, the envelope, into the plastic bag? Answer, not an independent recollection, no. Question, okay. And when you looked at the scene of Andrea Mazzola taking the plastic bag out of the location, was there anything that you collected between 5 o'clock and when you left with Andrea Mazzola that could have accounted for the heft in that bag other than the envelope? Answer, possibly, but it's most likely that the envelope was in that bag. Question, okay. Question, did you collect anything between 5 o'clock and the time that Ms. Mazzola and yourself left with a plastic bag that was the same approximate size and dimension of the analyzed envelope? 163. Answer, was there anything? Question, the one in front of you. Answer, was there anything else that we collected that was this size? Question, yes. Answer, is that what you are asking? Question, yes. Answer, no. Question, did you have any other envelopes that were that size? Answer, no. Do you recall giving those answers to that question?
Yes.
Now, as to the yes.
Thank you, counsel.
Now, sir, you were asked a number of questions about whether you've ever received any pressure from anyone from the DA's office to change your testimony in any way. Have you?
Change my answers?
Yes.
No.
And from anyone else, the crime lab or even disinterested parties?
No.
Now, sir, did you ever even
bullshit.
consider?
Are you joking? Come on. We just went through 3 weeks of Sheck trying to get him to change his freaking answers.
The possibility of testifying that as to the rear gate stain, that you saw it on June the 13th?
Grounds.
I think this is, my apologies, I didn't hear the whole question.
That was the whole question.
Proceed.
I never considered changing my answer that I had ever seen the stain on June 13th.
And you were asked about mistakes, sir, and your willingness to own up to mistakes. If you could do something differently at the crime scene, would you like to have collected that stain on the 13th?
Yes.
Misstates the testimony. His testimony assumes a
Sustained.
fact beyond this witness's
Sustained.
knowledge.
Rephrase the question.
Would have you liked to have inspected the gate more carefully?
Yes.
And sir, did you ever consider changing your testimony or testifying that as you sat there on this witness stand that you had an independent recollection about putting the item that you received from Detective Van Adder into the bag, the plastic bag?
I don't understand your question.
Okay. Did you ever consider testifying, sir, that you could remember from your own independent recollection putting the analyzed evidence envelope containing the blood into the plastic bag?
No.
Did you ever consider, sir, testifying that you looked at the socks, item number 13, carefully enough and saw blood on them?
No.
And did you ever consider testifying, sir, that you looked at the Bronco on June the 13th and saw red stains other than the one on the handle?
No,
Sir, when you were being cross-examined by Mr. Scheck, did you ever have difficulty understanding what he was getting at in his questions?
sometimes.
And, and when you were being cross-examined, sir, did you, how did it make you feel when you were sort of being yelled at in an accusatory?
I would object and choose
Sustained.
to strike.
Sustained. And if we have any more reaction from the audience, I'm going to clear the audience.
Was there anything in the way that you were
Prove it.
questioned, sir, that made it more
Do
difficult for
something,
you
please.
to understand the questions?
Yes.
And what was that?
It was a aggressive questioning style.
Okay. Did you find it easier to answer his questions this morning?
Yes,
Why?
he was much less aggressive this morning.
Chump. Chump.
You consider being accused of engaging in a cover-up less aggressive?
It was the manner, not the
I was just
content.
thinking about that.
Okay.
There might be. I don't know.
Now, sir, do you remember everything that you did, all of your activities on June the 13th of 1994?
No,
Do you remember every conversation that you had with the detectives on June the 13th of 1994
no,
or with other people?
no,
Do you remember all of the testimony that you gave over the last 8 days during the direct cross examinations?
it's all a blur.
Well, do you remember the question when you were shown
For us
the
too.
picture of the rear gate and Mr. Scheck said, "Where is it, Mr. Fung?"
I remember that.
I was just curious. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Fung. Nothing further. Thank you.
Mr. Scheck.
Oh, good job.
Sure.
I want sanctions for him making fun of me, Judge. Judge, I want sanctions for that. Good job, Goldberg. Good job. Ah, I can't skip it. I can't skip it. I want to, but I can't skip it. Let's just, like a Band-Aid.
Examination than cross-examination.
Yes, it is.
And you've been a witness a number of times in different cases.
Yes,
And it's always more difficult to testify on cross-examination than direct examination.
yes,
And would you not agree, sir, that some of the difficulties you had answering the questions on cross-examination during this trial had to do with the facts?
I don't.
Sustained.
Had to do with reports that you wrote,
In what regard?
contradictions in between your testimony and reports you wrote.
Just say no.
I
You
was
could
prepared
just say
for
no.
the type of questions that Mr. Goldberg would ask and the questions that you would ask.
I'm
You
sorry,
asked
John.
were surprise questions to me, so of course they would be more difficult for me to answer.
Yes. And when you viewed some of the videotape, that surprised you too.
I was, yes, some of it did.
And when you were testifying about a number of events for which you didn't have an independent recollection, but you were going along with suggestions of testimony on direct, that was a problem too.
Sustained. Sustained.
Did you ever have a problem when you were testifying because you were testifying to facts that you really didn't have an independent recollection about?
Overruled.
I tried the best I could to be truthful in my answers and honest.
Now, Mr. Goldberg asked you about pressure from the district attorney's office,
Yes,
and your position is you never felt any pressure from them to testify in a certain way.
they never gave me any pressure to change my answers.
Well, did they make strong suggestions to you about what your answers should be?
No,
Overruled.
Have you ever spent 10 sessions, some of them as long as 5 hours, reviewing your testimony before you testify?
never.
And could it be, sir, that in those sessions, as you reviewed all these facts and tried to get your testimony in a way that would please the prosecutors.
I haven't heard the full question, but it sounds like it's going to be
All
calling for
right.
speculation.
In these 10 sessions, you made your best efforts to work out testimony that the prosecutors would find satisfactory.
Much of the testimony was my educating Mr. Goldberg as to our procedures and different type of circumstances that we undergo out at crime scenes.
Well, in the course of your preparation, were other people from the lab involved?
At certain portions, yes.
Michelle Kessler?
She was never present when I was speaking with Mr. Goldberg.
To your knowledge, did she have input with respect to your testimony as far as you knew?
Sustained.
She ever discussed your testimony with you before you came here?
Overruled.
She gave me pep talks and things like that, but we never discussed specifics.
What about Detective Lang?
I did have discussions with him.
All right. Detective Van Adder?
Yes.
Now, I noticed that Mr. Goldberg didn't ask you whether or not you'd felt any pressure from the detectives.
Sustained.
Well,
Rephrase the question.
did you feel any pressure from the detectives to testify in a certain way?
No pressure, no.
Was there anything about my accent that made it hard for you to answer my questions?
Not your accent, no.
Was there anything about the substance of the questions that you were being asked that made it difficult, sir?
Vague. Sustained.
Oh, please let me answer that one, please. I need to go back in time.
Now, you said that on this redirect, that it didn't make the slightest bit of difference as to whether or not you collected the socks between 4:30 and 4:40.
Not in my mind.
Well, then, why, pray tell,
Yep.
did you change your testimony from direct and cross about when you could have collected the socks?
Sustained. Rephrase the question.
Why, sir, did you change your testimony from what you'd stated on direct and cross examination about the time frame when you could have collected the socks?
Overruled.
I believe that in one set of, or one question, at one of the questions was I sure I had collected the evidence from one point or another, and I wasn't 100% sure which item I had collected prior to the other.
Well, on direct and cross, you indicated that you were sure.
Sustained. Rephrase the question.
Well, you answered questions about the order of collection and when you collected on direct and cross.
Yes.
And on redirect, Mr. Goldberg asked you a number of times, or twice, I should say, if you were really sure that the collection of socks happened within that period.
Overruled.
He was
This
referring
has
to
been
specific
asked and
times within.
answered, overruled. What? All right. Why do we even have an objection for asked and answered if you can just ask and answer over and over and over again, Judge?
that time frame.
Well, did you, before you came here for redirect examination, say to Mr. Goldberg, I've been thinking about it, and I may be wrong about the time the socks were collected. Could you please raise that again on redirect? Is that what happened?
No.
It was his idea.
Sustained.
It was his request of you to think about the time of collection again.
Sustained.
Before you came and testified on redirect, did you have discussions with Mr. Goldberg or other prosecutors about whether you were really sure concerning the time you collected the socks?
It's just vague as to whether he has to bracket it. He doesn't have the first time.
Overruled. You can answer the question.
We have
Judge,
discussed the time frame of the
Judge.
socks, but as to the second time he asked me in recross about the socks, I don't recall discussing it prior to him asking recross
No.
socks questions.
Mr. Fong, redirect. Remember that?
Redirect.
Sustained. Come on.
Mr. Fung, direct your attention to the redirect examination.
Yes.
On redirect examination, you now said that you weren't really sure.
Yes.
And the suggestion withdrawn. The issue of whether you were really sure was raised by the prosecutors.
Overruled. We're talking about redirect.
Yes.
Yes.
And that was prior to those questions being asked of you.
That's true.
All right. That was prior to the time that you testified on redirect.
Yes.
Okay. And after they asked you if you were really sure, you told them before you got on the stand, well, I'm not that sure.
I wasn't that sure.
He's my
No.
pumpkin.
Overruled.
And you became unsure because you thought that's what they wanted to hear.
No, I became unsure because he was asking for a specific time within that time frame, and I just wasn't sure.
Mr. Fung, on direct examination, you were asked about the time frame between 4:30 and 4:40. You collected the socks. Right?
Yes.
His question on redirect was, could you have corrected the socks sometime different than between 4:30 and 4:40, right?
And redirect.
Yes.
Yes. He asked that.
And that's what you that's what you testified you were no longer sure about.
Yes.
And you now began testifying on redirect that you were no longer so sure of the order.
Yes.
And that's because the prosecutors wanted you to be unsure about the time and about the order.
That's not true.
No further questions.
Yeah, let's see if we can get this, Mr. Fung. Now, when we were discussing, before you ever came into this courtroom to testify, about the order in which things were collected, did you tell me that the order was 12, 13, and 14?
Yes.
Okay. Now, on redirect.
Redirect. Okay.
No, actually, it was redirect. I'm sorry. Okay, now on redirect, did you testify that you weren't sure whether 13 was collected before 14?
I stated I didn't know, or I don't know what I stated at this point. I was unsure at that point.
Okay, now what Mr. Sheck was asking you is, was there a conversation that we ever had between the time that you were finished on cross-examination, okay,
Yes.
and the time that you said that you weren't sure on redirect? Was there ever a time when you told me you weren't sure?
No.
And was there ever a time that you can recall between those two times that we discussed the issue?
Not that I recall.
All right. And Mr. Fung, have you ever testified before in a case where you were on the witness stand for 8 days?
Never.
Are you going to be glad to be off?
Very.
Okay, thank you. Nothing further. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Fung, I'm going to excuse you from further testimony in this case. At this time, you're still subject to recall, however. Please don't discuss your testimony with anybody other than the lawyers. All right, you're free to go.
If anybody knows if he gets recrossed, rebrought later, do not tell me. I want to be happy. Can I please just let me be happy for a little bit, thinking this man gets to walk out of this courthouse and get on with his life.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I'm going to need to shift gears here momentarily. I'm going to ask you to step back into the jury room. Please remember all my admonitions to you, and we'll be talking with you shortly. All right. Package of reports regarding apparently hair comparisons from the FBI lab. One counsel approach me aside, and I'll give you a copy of the reports. Yes. All right, over the lunch hour, counsel proposed to the court a procedure to go forward with the inquiry that the court has indicated that is going to make regarding jury issues. Either side wish to be heard as to the presence of the defendant issue and the manner in which the inquiry should be conducted.
Yes, I'd like to be heard just briefly, Your Honor. If I might. Certainly, we do endorse the going ahead with the jury process now, Your Honor, and doing it in a continuous manner. I think it'll be better for all parties. And I think in this regard, both the prosecution and the defense agree. The court had been kind enough in a brief conference to mention to counsel the People versus Sirpong's case, Siripongs, a 1988 case. Although I have not had a chance to get the case, I do, in fact, had a chance, of course, to look at the California Criminal Law Procedure and Practice, second edition,
Which is where I
Which
found
the
the
court-
Sirpong's case.
had suggested to us. And in that case, as the court is aware, there is a statement in the second paragraph under section 3324 that counsel and the defendant should be present at the hearing. And it goes on to indicate that in some circumstances, however, counsel may be excluded from the hearing as long as he or she has given a transcript of it. It cites People versus Siripongs. And under that paren, it says defense attorney excluded at defendant's request, no constitutional violation. In this instance, what we're asking the court to do, given where we are at this point in the proceedings, after having been in trial in this matter since, I guess, September 26th, and being the 12th week or so of actual testimony, that Mr. Simpson be allowed to be present during this jury inquiry. That's all we're really asking, Your Honor. We don't think it poses any kind of security problem. We don't think there would be any effect upon the jurors as the court inquires upon them. We do not anticipate, from the defense standpoint, of asking the court to cross-examine any particular juror. In fact, without going into the procedure that we've used in the past, I would just indicate to the court that we expect to do as we've done in the past. And I think that Mr. Simpson has no objection to that. And the court has previously ruled that as regards previous jurors or non-jurors at this point, the defendant has been present. And I just think that where he does not wish to waive his being present, that the court should allow him to be present. I think that if the Siripong case, I guess, stands for anything, counsel can be excluded, but it doesn't say the defendant can be excluded. And I don't plan to waive my presence at this point either, Your Honor. Perhaps I think the court has set some rules regarding the number of attorneys, and we have no problem with that. I think the court has said that you may limit the number of attorneys who may be present during these proceedings. But I just think that we can get on with this and get it done in a timely and appropriate fashion. It's been conducted quite well before. I just think this is not a matter that for a public hearing, but I think the defendant, who has the most to lose in this entire thing, is entitled to a fair trial, and it certainly would impinge upon his constitutional rights to be present if we have to then go back and try to translate for him what took place at these hearings, and that's how I think we really got to this point, Your Honor. So I respectfully ask the court to set up a procedure that the court feels is appropriate, whereby he can be present during these hearings, and we'll conduct it in the same way as we've done the other hearings back in chambers. Thank you, Your Honor.
People?
Mr. Honor, I read the case law submitted by the defense, People versus Garcia. The problem with that case law that they have submitted is that there is nothing in which it is stated explicitly that the defendant has an independent right to be present. The case really addresses the issue as to whether or not the court should properly address jury issues outside the presence of any of the lawyers or the defendants. And it says that no, the defense has the right to be represented at such a hearing or at any contact with the jury that the judge may have, but it did not specify that it had to include the defendant. Nor have any of the cases we have found indicated that there is any such right. And to the contrary, as the court has pointed out, People versus Siripongi, also People versus Medina, 51 Cal 3rd 870, and People versus Freeman, 8 Cal 4th 450, both of which do address the defendant's right to be present at various chambers conferences, make it clear that the defendant does not always have the right to be present at every chambers conference or chambers issue. With respect to these issues, they are of such confidential nature that they do need to be conducted in chambers, which poses a very obvious problem with respect to having the defendant present. And there are also concerns with the ability of the jurors to be as forthright as they possibly can. The more we create an open hearing in which there will be many people present and the more people in the audience and the bigger the setting in terms of having to be in the courtroom, I think the more of a chilling effect we produce on the jurors, the less encouraged they are to be completely candid with us about what is going on. So in order to encourage candor, in order to encourage a kind of openness that will allow the court to make a thorough and fair investigation, I think that it is in the best interest in a search for the truth and a fair trial to have this in chambers.
I would just, and I didn't like to mention this before, I think also that Penal Code Section 1120 is somewhat instructive when it talks about where it requires a juror, quote, must be sworn as a witness and examined in the presence of the parties. And again, I always come back to the fact that Mr. Simpson is the party here. That statute was subsequently amended in 1965. I think the reason why we cited to the court the People versus Garcia case, the 1984 case, holding that a defendant's right to be present, protected by the fundamental constitutional right to the assistance of counsel at all critical stages of the proceeding. If one takes that, Your Honor, this is a critical stage of the proceeding because what the court finds out here is very important, I think, to all of us. And I think that's why the court is doing this now. I think in response to what Ms. Clark has said, that I don't think it's chilling at all with the defendant present. It doesn't make if the court has a certain number of counsel on each side, and the defendant is not going to make the jurors less candid because Mr. Simpson is here. After all, this case is about the people versus O.J. Simpson. And I'm reminded of the time when we first started picking the jury in this matter. The court recall we were up on the 11th floor. And we were in a little tiny room at the court recall when we first started screening jurors. And Mr. Simpson was at the table.
What did I say,
In
Kelly?
fact, Ms. Clark and I sat
What
side
did
by
I say?
side, and Mr.
Let
Simpson
me
was
be
down at one end.
happy.
The jurors sat at one end, and the court recall that, and the bailiffs were all there. And I think the people were very candid right from the beginning. That's how this court has conducted this matter at times at critical stages of the proceeding where Mr. Simpson should be present. And that's all we're saying, that why err in this regard? I think that this is a time he has a right to be present, posing no security problems. And I think that I'm not suggesting we put the jurors on the witness stand, but wherever they feel comfortable, we can close it in however you want to do it, as we've done in the past. I think that this is somewhat unique. And what's happened is there is a dearth of legal opinions in this regard because you'll have to search far and wide before you'll find this kind of proceeding where we're this far into trial, where we have an issue like this arising regarding jurors, where we have to go and talk to all the jurors. So there's not a lot of cases, as we have proven so many times, Your Honor. It's this particular case that has caused a lot of issues that people haven't dealt with in the past. What I found is that when you have something unique, it does require us to be careful. It does require us to keep in mind why we're here. And it does require us to protect all of the rights. And all we're asking you to do is to protect Mr. Simpson's rights in that regard. And I think that 1120, Garcia, even Sirpongi. I mean, I think that it doesn't say that the defendant can't be present. It talks about the lawyer being waived. So I think that where he wants to be present, I think he has a right to be present. And I think the reasons for him not being present are not persuasive. And I would ask the court to consider this, and let's move on, and let's try and resolve this matter in the course of the next day or so. Thank you.
All right, thank you, counsel.
I'm sorry, I don't want to, I just want to straighten out one misconception that perhaps has been created. I don't feel necessarily that Mr. Simpson's presence is going to have a chilling effect. I feel that the setting that we will be forced to be in and the number of people that will be forced to be present will be the problem and produce a more chilling effect. It's clear that when we have a more intimate setting where there are fewer people, that we can expect a little more candor, and the jurors will feel more secure and more calm. And that's what we want to encourage. And that was my point, Your Honor. And moreover, the case law makes it very clear that the defendant is entitled to be represented, and he has very able representation, and his lawyers will fight very vigorously in his behalf, as they always have, and they will continue to do. And his rights will be fully protected by their presence in chambers at any conference that may be conducted. And I think that that's what the court has to look at in terms of what is required, and that will certainly be observed by this court.
All right, thank you, counsel. All right, I don't find Penal Code Section 1120 to be controlling in this particular issue. And the 1988 California Supreme Court opinion, People versus Sirpongs at 45 Cal 3rd, 548, and specifically the text that begins at page 570, and the discussion on 571 and 572 does directly address this issue. The matter will be addressed by the court in chambers out of the presence of the defendant. All right, we'll take a 20-minute recess, and we'll start with the inquiry. All right. And let me ask Ms. Clark, as far as we have 18 jurors to talk to, my guess is we'll be at this certainly the balance of the day and probably the balance of tomorrow, is my guess, since we have 18 people to talk to, perhaps 20 minutes, 30 minutes apiece, depending on where it leads us.
I really think that's fair estimate.
All right, then my guess is that as far as the presentation of testimony and Ms. Mazzola is concerned, we probably ought to then stand in recess today, being the 18th, until the 20th. All right, does that cause any scheduling problems?
It will not cause a scheduling problem.
All right, this was your suggestion, Mr. Cochran.
I'm not the no problem.
All right, then as far as the presentation of evidence is concerned, then we'll stand in recess until the 9 a.m. April 20. All right, thank you, counsel. Yes. No.
We
me
finished
about it. All
this
right, thank you,
video early, so we're going to keep going to the next video because we still have a few more minutes left. We get to see who that lady is that comes on next. Oh, we're starting with sidebar.
All right, let the record reflect that we have been rejoined by all the members of our jury panel. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. All right, the people may call their next witness.
Call Andrea Mazzola to the stand.
Oh, Jesus, Lord, no. No.
And police, do you solemnly swear that the testimony you make will be taught not only with this court, shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? I do. Please have a seat and witness stand and please show your
I think this is going to be worse. Oh, God.
Andrea Mazzola, Andrea Mazzola.
All right, Mr. Goldberg.
Good morning, Ms. Mazzola.
Good morning.
Ladies and gentlemen. Ms. Mazzola, directing your attention to the date of June the 13th of 1994, did you participate in some evidence collection with Dennis Fung at the location of 360 North Rockingham and 875 Bundy in Los Angeles?
Yes, I did.
And on the 14th, did you also participate in some collection at the a Bronco in the print shed?
Yes, I did.
Now, before getting into those matters, I'd like to ask you a little bit about your training and your experience. First of all, what is your job title?
Criminalist 1.
And a criminalist is?
We work in the crime lab, collection, preservation of evidence, and analyzing the evidence, testifying as an expert witness in court.
Okay, and is part of your job description as a criminalist that you actually have to analyze evidence?
Yes, it is.
As part of analyzing evidence, do you generate analyzed evidence reports?
Yes, we do.
And then as part of your job description, are you also required to testify in court as an expert witness?
Yes, we are.
Was that true when you were first hired with the Los Angeles Police Department as a criminalist 1?
Yes, it was.
Now, before you became a criminalist 1 at the Los Angeles Police Department, did you have some formal training in school?
Yes, I did.
And what degree do you hold?
I hold a Bachelor of Science in Forensic Science,
And where is that from?
California State University, Sacramento.
Before you were allowed to take courses that were specific to forensic science, did you have to take general background science courses?
Yes.
And what kinds of courses did you take that were general background science courses before you got into the specifics of forensic science?
We had to take general chemistry, organic chemistry, qualitative analysis, quantitative analysis,
all right.
chemistry. Biochemistry, we had to take some biology courses such as anatomy, genetics, basic biology.
Did you take microbiology,
Yes, I did.
organic chemistry?
Right.
All right. And after you were finished with taking these various general science courses, did you then take some courses that were specific to the area of criminalistics?
Yes.
Approximately how many courses did you take in school that were specific to the area of criminalistics?
It was approximately 5.
Was one of those courses a trace analysis course?
Yes, it was.
And what did that involve?
It involved the analyzing of trace evidence such as hair, fiber, minute glass particles, extremely small pieces of evidence.
Did you do any serology in that course?
We did a basic ABO blood typing experiment.
Okay, and what is serology? If you could just give us a general definition.
Serology deals with the analyzation of bodily fluids.
Okay. Now, did this professor that taught you in the trace analysis course use any particular technique to impress on you the importance of maintaining control of your evidence?
Yes, if he thought that we were not maintaining control over our evidence, if he thought we were leaving it out on the bench top, he would confiscate the evidence. And since the evidence was your unknown, you had to buy it back with points. And each report was only worth 50 points to begin with. So if you lost 20 points buying your evidence, you more or less couldn't pass that one section.
Did you lose any points during this course as a result of not maintaining control of your evidence?
No, no.
All right. And did this technique that the professor used seem to work in impressing on you?
It worked extremely well.
Okay. Now, as a student, when you were there at the California State University, did you participate with other students in starting any organizations in the area of criminalistics?
Yes, since forensic science, was such a small major, we wanted to try to bring more people into the area, at least let them become familiar with it. So we started an organization, which became recognized by the university, to promote forensic science, to give people an idea of what it was.
Okay. Did you also begin attending meetings as a student of the California Association of Criminalists?
Yes.
And what is that association?
It's an organization of criminalists, people in the field. They attend meetings, seminars, classes to gain more information in the field, to share ideas, new techniques.
Okay. And when you graduated from the California State University, did you begin working at a law enforcement agency
Yes, I
as a
did.
criminalist? What agency was that?
It was the Kern County District Attorney's Office Crime Lab in Bakersfield.
And what was your job title there when you began with the Kern County District Attorney's Office in their crime lab?
I was a criminalist.
What were you doing in the crime lab?
I was assigned to the toxicology unit.
And toxicology is what?
It's the analysis of blood and urine for drugs of abuse.
So you are dealing with biological specimens in toxicology.
Right.
Now, how long were you at the Kern County District Attorney's Office Crime Lab?
It's approximately 18 months.
And when you were there working in toxicology, was there anything that you learned in terms of handling biological specimens and avoiding cross-contamination that would be relevant towards processing a crime scene?
Well, anytime you're working with biologicals or any evidence, you have to be careful of cross-contamination. You only work on one item or one sample at a time. You never have two items open at the same time. You are very careful about the utensils you use, whether it's pipettes, which are usually disposable, or tweezers or scissors, anything.
Okay. And when you were there at the Kern County District Attorney's Office Crime Lab, did you have the opportunity to see what other criminalists were doing in areas that were not involved with toxicology?
Yes,
So did you sort of get an overview of different areas of criminalistics while you were there?
yes, I did.
Did you ever have the opportunity of seeing people at the Kern County Crime Lab, the criminalists, processing bloody clothing or clothing from rape cases that might contain biological evidence?
Yes, I did.
While you were there, did you join any other organizations that are involved in the area of criminalistics?
Well, I joined the American Academy of Forensic Sciences.
And what is the American Academy of Forensic Sciences as opposed to the California Association of Criminalists?
They're similar in that they're both organizations dealing with the area of criminalistics, forensic science, the law. The American Academy takes a wider view. We have people who are in the law. We have dentists. There are different sections dealing with the different professions.
Did you also join the California Association of Criminalists?
Yes, I joined as a member.
Was that in the same time frame?
Yes, it was.
And you were there for, you said, 18 months?
Yes.
Now, after you left the Kern County District Attorney's Office Crime Lab, where did you go?
I started looking for another job.
And did you find employment as a criminalist?
I found employment as a toxicologist in a private lab,
What was that lab?
Valley Toxicology.
So as a toxicologist, were you doing the same thing that you were doing when you were working in the Kern County toxicology section?
Yes.
And you were doing the actual, what, is it a chemical analysis or a physical analysis of the biological specimens?
It's more of a chemical analysis.
Are you testing for anything other than drugs?
No, just drugs.
Okay. When were you at this toxicology, Valley Toxicology? What were the dates that you were there?
Let's see. Let me check my. It's approximately May of '93 to about the middle of December of '93.
And after you left Valley Toxicology, where did you go?
I was offered a position with LAPD.
When did you start with LAPD?
January 24th, 1994.
And when you were you hired alone, or were there other people that were hired in the same group?
There were 3 other people who were hired approximately the same time as I was.
Now, in approximately April of 1994, did you go through a mini academy?
Yes.
And what did that involve?
It involved showing us the way that the LAPD crime lab collects their evidence, the different sections, what they had to offer us, what they had available to help us at a crime scene, or analyzing the evidence once we got back to the lab.
Did they teach you how to physically pick up evidence and collect evidence at a crime scene?
Yes.
Did they teach you how to collect bodily fluids?
Yes, they did.
How was that done? Was that a theoretical instruction or a practical, or a combination?
It was a combination. They first told us why they do it this way, why they need to pick up, be it blood or whatever. Then we had practical hands-on where we would actually pick up the blood from different substrates, concrete, carpet, stone.
So were these mock crime scenes, or what were they when you were picking up this blood in the mini academy?
It really wasn't like a mock crime scene. They just had the blood on the different substrates that we would tend to run into out in the real world. So we would have hands-on experience on how to manipulate the stain, how to collect it, preserve it, to learn, to be careful about contamination.
Did they also teach you other techniques such as tool marks, dust print, shoe prints, and the like?
Right.
Now, how difficult was it for you to learn how to pick up blood, biological evidence?
It's not hard at all.
Okay. And as a criminalist, when you start as a criminalist one, are you expected to go out to crime scenes and pick up evidence?
We are expected to accompany the more experienced criminalists when we can. We watch them, the way they process scenes. We are allowed to pick up evidence under their supervision. It gives us more training under supervision.
How long are you a criminalist one before you can become a criminalist two?
We're criminalist one for a year and a half.
Now, is there some aspect in which, even though you're a criminalist one, and you've been taught how to do how to physically collect the evidence, is there some aspect in which you're still being trained in crime scene investigation during that 18 months?
In that period, it's more like we were being trained in the discretionary area to go to a crime scene, to look at it, to decide what is evidence, what we can pick up that would be of value, what can be analyzed back at the lab. That's the part that we were being trained in as criminalist ones.
Well, are you still being trained in the physical part of how you actually physically pick up a shoe print or how you physically pick up a piece of biological evidence?
To a certain extent, for the most part, we are trained in the technical area. It's the discretionary area, making the decisions that we are in the process of learning.
What all does this discretionary area involve in terms of being a criminalist? Is it just what to pick up and what not to pick up?
Well, also it involves dealing with the people you'll find at the scene, the detectives, the coroner's people, determining what is viable evidence versus what is really not part of the scene.
When you're at a scene, do you simply just pick up anything and everything that happens to be in the area or within a certain diameter of the bodies in the case of a murder? How do you go about making that kind of a decision?
That again is the discretionary area. You have to look at the whole scene, try to get an idea of what could have happened, and start looking for items that could be connected. It's better to pick up a little more than not enough.
Is there any problem with just indiscriminately collecting everything that you see?
Yes, because you'll spend all your time picking up every single little bit of paper or whatever, and you're not adding towards figuring out what happened. You're adding a lot of garbage is what it is.
And is it this area in which during the 18 months you are still being trained in terms of how to evaluate a crime scene, how to make this kind of decision?
Yes, that's the area.
Now, prior to the work that you did on June the 13th, had you actually gone out on crime scenes and seen other people collect evidence and collect some evidence yourself?
Yes, I did.
Now, when you listed the number of crime scenes, do you distinguish between a crime scene and a car search?
I did. Some people don't, but at that point I did.
Okay, so some people put the two of them together.
Right.
All right. And with respect to your first crime scene, did you actually pick up any evidence at that crime scene?
Yes, under supervision.
And was there any biological evidence that was involved in that first crime scene?
There was a lot of biological evidence.
Can you give us just a guesstimate as to how many stains? I mean, are we talking about less than a dozen or more than a dozen?
More than a dozen.
Did you pick up some of those stains yourself?
Yes, I did.
Now, when you processed that first crime scene, did you get any feedback in terms of how you done?
We, the people that were processing the scene, were given a commendation for the scene.
So this was your first crime scene and you received a commendation for it?
Right.
And was that presented to you in an award ceremony?
They mentioned it at our annual luncheon. They read the commendations.
Okay. Now, did you also process another crime scene after this and before June the 13th that had biological evidence in it?
Yes.
And did that have multiple stains as well?
Yes, it did.
Did you pick up those stains?
Yes, I did.
Were there any other crime scenes that you participated in before June the 13th that had biological evidence that you physically participated in collecting?
There was one that had biological evidence, but the collection procedure was not the procedures used on the other scenes.
Okay, now was that a car search or?
Right, this was a car search.
Okay, and you said that you do make a distinction between those?
I do.
But you did, but there was one car search that you were involved in that also had biological evidence.
Correct.
Now, after June the 13th, did you, and before today's date, did you participate in any more crime scenes that had biological evidence that needed to be collected?
Yes.
And can you give us an approximate number?
Of scenes?
And include car searches?
Oh, okay. For biologicals, there were 2 actual scenes.
Okay.
Seems.
Now, at the crime lab, the Los Angeles Police Department crime lab, do they have a position that's known as criminalist trainee?
No.
Is that any kind of an official word that's used,
No.
trainee? All right. But as you said, there is, to some extent, you are being trained in crime scene processing and investigation.
Correct.
As a criminalist one. At the crime scenes the crime scenes that you participated in June the 13th and also on the 14th in the Bronco, if we divide the work of a criminalist up the way that you've suggested into the mental and discretionary type components and the physical collection components,
Overruled.
who was responsible for the mental or the discretionary type components?
That is the criminalist 3 area.
Now, going back to a second to this mini academy, when you were going through the mini academy, do they actually teach you specifically what the people in serology are going to do with the evidence after you've collected it in the case of biological evidence?
Not specifically, no.
Okay. And do they train you actually how to do DNA tests?
No.
So are they training you the physical collection procedures?
That's correct.
Now, I'd like to direct your attention back to the date of June the 13th of 1994. At some point in the early morning, did you receive a telephone call that awakened you?
I was already awake,
Okay.
but I did get the call.
And what time was that?
It was approximately 5:25 in the morning.
All right. And did that call notify you that you were to respond to a crime scene?
Yes.
Now, are all criminalists at the laboratory expected to respond to crime scenes?
We are all put on a rotation.
And how often are you on this rotation, approximately?
Approximately 3 months. Every 3 months we come up.
And for what length of a period of time are you on call? Every 3 months.
Sometimes we are on call for a week. We take the evening calls at night. Sometimes we are assigned to the weekend, and that's 24 hours a day.
So on this particular occasion on June 13th, did this simply happen to be the occasion that you were on call?
Yes, it was.
What did you have to do after you got this call notifying you that you needed to respond to a crime scene?
I called my criminalist 3, Mr. Fung, and informed him that we had a scene and we were to meet at the laboratory.
And was he also on call?
Yes.
For what purpose did you need to meet at the laboratory?
We needed to meet there to pick up the crime scene truck.
And did you do so?
Yes.
And did you then drive in the truck to the location, to the Rockingham location?
Yes.
Now, while you were going to the Rockingham location in the truck, was there any conversation with respect to filling out the crime scene identification checklist, the officer in charge?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time, I'd like to take a look at People's 161 for identification.
One, please.
Ms. Mazzillo, is the resolution on your screen good enough so that you
Not really.
can, maybe we can just focus in on the area that says OIC name. Okay. Maybe you need to pull the paper a little bit over to the right. All right. Now can you recognize this?
Right.
Right. And did you, is this your handwriting?
Yes, it is.
And your name is where it says officer in charge?
Correct.
What was the conversation that you had with respect to filling out that portion of this form?
Basis.
Sorry. Objection is to the hearsay remarks made in the
Sustained.
trial.
As to what? I
Sustained. Hearsay is what the discussion was.
Well, it's not coming in for the truth of the matter, Your Honor.
Excuse me, sustained, still sustained.
But at any rate,
I
you put
missed-
your name was put in that.
I missed to object. Who objected? I was looking at something, and I missed who objected. So, but I did hear that it was not Sheck. So that means she's not going to have to be put through Sheck. I think. I could be wrong. I'm often wrong.
Location.
Correct.
And without telling us what the conversation was, there was some conversation about it.
Right.
Okay. Now, after you actually got to the location, did you continue to be or were you the officer in charge after you got to the Rockingham location?
Once we found out what was all involved, I was not the officer in charge.
All right. And who became the officer in charge?
Mr. Fung.
Now, what are the functions of the officer in charge as opposed to the person assisting him or her?
The officer in charge, number one, talks to the detectives to try to get an idea of what is going on. They make the discretionary calls as to what to pick up as evidence. They interact with the people at the scene, whether it's the detectives, police officers, coroner's officials.
Who directs the other SID people, like print people and photography people?
That's the officer in charge.
Now, did you perform those functions at the Rockingham or Bundy locations?
No.
I'd next like to take a look at People's 189. For identification. Now, with respect to People's 189 for identification, when was this document filled out?
Part of that,
Foundation, we don't even know who filled it out first.
Sustained, rephrase the question.
What, is this your handwriting?
yes, it is.
And when was this filled out?
Part of it was filled out the morning of the 13th.
Was that shortly after you arrived at Rockingham?
Yes,
Sustained.
When was that?
shortly after we arrived at the Rockingham location.
Okay.
I love her face.
And you placed, and did you have any conversation with respect to how this form was going to be filled out that you can remember?
No, not really.
Okay, was this a matter of consequence in your mind?
No.
All right, for the record, People's 189 is the vehicle search checklist.
Okay, don't. Good stop. That was a good stop. You didn't start asking a question. We did it, guys. We made it way, way, way farther than. Okay, this is a 2-hour video, and we're already 30 minutes into it. So we did the last part of 18, and then we did the last part of 18, part 2. We did all of 18.3, April 18th, and now we're 30 minutes into April 20th. Cooking. We are cooking. She's going to be on the stand for a while, but we're going to get through it real quick. You'll see. Maybe it won't take until December. We might get through this in November, and it's already basically August. We're almost done, guys. We're there. We're getting there. Okay, we're not. It's a whole lie because we're only at video 207 out of 500. I think we might be able to get done sooner than mid-December if we keep cooking like this. And if we don't take days off, which we haven't taken a day off in a while. So thanks for coming out. I appreciate it. I'll see you all again really, really soon. Bye, guys.